I barely knew my father growing up. I knew what he looked like. I knew, I've been around him, of course, and I would visit him, and stuff like that. But I didn't know him, and he didn't know me. When I started to become aware of like his absence, that's when I began to grow a disdain for him and be like, okay, well, why is it that these other people have their fathers? I felt like I was abandoned, and for that I was lost. I ended up, being just confused, not knowing, what to listen to when it came to discipline from my mom, because I'm thinking, okay, well, there's supposed to be two parents here. Am I supposed to be getting this from my mother? How much do I listen to of what my mother's talking about or teaching me or instilling in me? And for that reason, I began to look at her differently because of his absence. And I'm in a sense of where I'm like, I don't like her either, because it's like I felt she's being the militant one, she's being the strict one. That's not healthy nor normal. So when you're trying to do that, and I give her complete kudos. My mother taught me to, pull the chair out, to open up the doors, to, pump her gas, simple stuff. And I'm just like, my father was supposed to be doing this, He was supposed to be taking me to the sports games and, everything that I've seen that the fathers were doing in other people's lives, being active in their lives. I envied them and I desired that. Fast forward to me graduated from high school, 2006. He came up to my graduation, and then that, I believe, was the catalyst of like us building a relationship. So all through college, he continued to be consistent, and I was like, okay, this is new. And at that point, I had already established 13 identities, so I didn't know who I was. I'm, trying to fit in over here, trying to fit in over there. At the same time, trying to act like, that I don't need to fit in when I really am, so I was just completely lost. I started to develop that relationship with him. It did feel like, okay, this is pretty good. I think I'm getting somewhere. And then the more I started asking him questions and, he began to be more open about his absence and why he wasn't there. And it was easy to understand to say, look, I wasn't there because I was doing my own thing. So he had his own agenda and he just wasn't ready for responsibility. So him admitting that was a load off my shoulders. I started to understand, and appreciate that he was not there in my life. His influence would not have been great for me. Essentially dodged a bullet. So I'm grateful that my mother had to step up and kind of play that role. Now we're great. We can have 2-3 hour conversations. Sometimes we ain't talking about nothing. Sometimes we're talking about everything. Father translates in the Hebrew to two different words, pata and abba. Both kind of relate to the sustaining of your seed. So therefore, like my father was, is my source of why I'm here on earth. There's a principle in source. What you come from must sustain you. So I came from my father, then he must sustain me. If I am detached from that, if I'm disconnected from that, then I no longer have any identity or any type of purpose or guidance. Therefore, I'm lost. When I started to explore Father through the Bible, I thought that I was like, wow, it blew my mind. I thought that God was just a complete genius because he calls himself Father. He doesn't call himself Mother. He calls himself Father for a reason, because he's the source and therefore the sustainer of his creation. And clearly he claims creation over what we all see, and everything is still being sustained no matter what earth, what humans do to the earth. I look at that as, wow, though my physical father was not there for me, my spiritual dad was there for me, sustaining me. Though I had to go through hoops and alleys and valleys, mountains, all of that type of, experiences, I was still kept. I was still covered and connected in a sense. My hate and despite for him came from just me knowing that he was inconsistent. Broken promises, one after another. Now, present day, I'm content with where we are. I don't have any ill will towards him anymore. I do forgive him. When we started to learn of each other, I was just curious. So I started naming off things that I do not like. I was like, okay, what about mushrooms? Don't like those. Tomatoes, nope, don't like those. Olives, don't like those. Onions, well, they can't be raw, they gotta be grilled. Whoa, me too. If we have physical commonalities of things that we like tangibly that we can, eat, or things that we don't like that are similar, how much more gene-wise is there? There has been some fathers in my life William Stepp. He's taught me a lot. It's like my godfather. I'm grateful for men like that who have been, constant in my life, who have set, principles and morals and values in addition to what my mother has. It just kind of hits home when it comes from another man. It's just something about that.